Hi there. I think my model's already slightly off center. Don't actually remember what I was doing last time. I know it's I got dressed and I'm a scholar. I mean, my avatar is my scholar. Rumor has it, some former residents of Wishvale currently reside in Pragspear. Person in this lead will help facilitate the restoration of Wishvale. I think this is when I was looking for a Lila. If I recall, was like the daughter of that couple I got before. Just recently got his hands on a thick jewelry box. For which I have to fight in again. Now he's got Joe bodyguards as plus one. I think the first time was already pretty easy. I think I could get all three to be broken at the same time. I don't think that will help a lot. Would I put some of the AoE spells I have? Hide there, you know? El Sazantos out of SP. I was paying attention to that. That first bodyguard is gonna... Yeah, he was almost going to die without even having his shield broken once. Anyway, he was as much of a pushover as last time. I woke up too early today and was feeling pretty groggy, like even up until right before starting the stream, I'm feeling fine now. Also, there is party shots like outside of Wishvale, so I might have missed a lot of them because I just never noticed the prompt. He's asking why I took up the ring, but isn't it the other way around? The ring took me up. Wants to gather all the rings, so does that mean he's gonna take them from me later? But that's gonna be another patch quest done. Also, I already took revenge on like all 3 people that had something to do with the village being destroyed. It's just that I also got their rings and their rings got stolen by somebody else. So I'm going after that now. But we already like passed the initial motivation for the plot. Not this way. But all his rat is another stone supply. Also, I didn't realize you could place more people in the tavern. I now think that whenever the game lets you recruit Lauren again, it's probably gonna be tied to restoring the church. And that's like kinda ways off. There's still this whole other area to go through first. All I want is to be able to expand the house of time living. I think this is one of those times I could use the feature where you can double the speed of cutscenes like this. But if it's on auto mode, it's hard to read the dialogue. Not that's anything too important. Like, unfortunately, the quest about restoring Wishvale is the least interesting of how we've had in the game so far. Because it's a lot of like going after all these older NPCs and the characters in the plot are like, oh my, we missed you so much. But you, the player, barely knew anything about them. Change styles. Oh, so that was at the locked button from before. So I can't expand my house yet, I think. I can change how it looks. Which I'll give it's pretty nice to make it down look less monotonous. The Merchant Ludo. I recall the name from the beginning, but I don't recall who that was.
それには商人が必要ですね。
ならサンシェイドだね。じいさんが言ってたよ。腕利きの商人が目当てならあそこだってね。
サンシェード、交易の要衝か。ばあさん、いいアイデアありがとな。なあ、商人を探しに行こうぜ。
I think could spice up this whole storyline if we had like a raid system where we had to defend your village. I suppose more people are after your ring, so they keep trying to destroy Wishville again. Kinda make it like what Arkanites tried to do in the Reclamation algorithm mode, just it doesn't work in that game. And if you had to like build your village defensively to make it would make it a lot more interesting in my opinion. The way it is now is obviously trying to be more like something like Animal Crossing. But at least so far it's a bit shallow for that, like you can place all these NPCs in your house, but they don't really do anything. It feels like a base that you build in a free-to-play gacha game, just in a bad way. In that it's like very basic, you just place down stuff that will produce items for you over time. Because if the intention was to make you actually get attached to the village and the people there, it's not working so far. Alexis Cider. Thank you so much for the raid. I actually saw you were online just earlier today. I was going to tune in, but ended up running out of time. Also, welcome, TVPG. I'll shout you out before I forget. Alex is another Dark Knight streamer. I think these days he plays more Enfield. So please go check out his channel. But I keep forgetting like what command. Does he shout out? Okay, that one. It's less shout out. I keep thinking it's exclamation point as well for some reason. Anyway, the next step of the Wishville quest take is all the way down here, so time to go back to Master of All. I also don't recall what I was doing in this one. Ah, so I meant to track and not travel, I just ended up traveling and not tracking. After the president is right, we're going to war. I'm interested in burdens to what are those? Should one day be able to speak and make friends with a Birdian, perhaps be granted the honor of flying. Upon its back, she has a... She has first shot to mastery. She has that skill you used to have as a hunter that didn't actually work for me. The heavy bow seems like it could be a good weapon. I'll keep a pin on her. I might challenge her later. Probably after I don't know if the question. Also, Alexis has redeemed Hydrate. Thanks for that. I'll be back in a second. I was getting first anyway. Hi there. Hey, close to the level is to yours, it should be nice. She's 99, 25, so I'm actually kinda behind. On the other hand, that merchant I fought before, I think he was on my level, it was very easy to beat. I feel like this game like overrates which level you have to be to complete each quest. At least it's not like Victory Road where the game forces you to reach that level before it lets you continue. Nice, I wonder if that was worth it. It's stronger than Sazonto's starting sword, but doesn't have the that sleep property. Which, to be fair, I haven't seen that work until now. And less accuracy, which I'm not sure if it's gonna have a big impact. Like how important is accuracy for sword users. But it's gonna make his AoE attack deal more damage, which is most of what I'm using for him anyway.
教えて。
This is a resentful scholar. Seems that every place he wants to look at is the site of some new fortress, or so he's told.
教えて。
Realizing he cannot get ahead in a country that values military merit, is now looking for a chance to leave the army. And naturally you can get into Ishvale, but it's gonna need a milk soup. Which I don't think I have milk for starters, and that's the first time I hear of quote-unquote milk soup. There aren't many foes who attack the gates from the rear, but he has nonetheless shut the gates of his mind up tight. Oh, this would be great for Viator if only he could have 2 passives. He currently has the counter one, this one gives him a chance to dodge every turn.
いただいておくわ。
Yes, Alexa could have it since she has less defense, she could use some dodging. At least until I don't have any like magic focus passive for her. Their sights set on King Pardius Eternal. Oh, we came here to kill the king. I need to remember that.
陛下に謁見を願いたい。
聖火主司長殿。
下級のようだ。後ほど教会から知らせも来よう。
Sazanto is starting to make me suspicious. I have the feeling that he's gonna turn on me later. For Maz decides a bottle is a miss, and Sazantos one solves the ring, doesn't he? I think it's right because he's too powerful for even plot-wise, it feels too important to be getting this early into the game. By the way, yeah, we're still in the early game. This fight being, what, 20 something hours already? And his moveset feels too powerful, like he has an AoE heal, he has a skill that lets him damage the shield with any weapon. I think even if he's not a villain, he's gonna come with some masteries. I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep him for the entire game.
ところで陛下、謁見を願う者が来ております。一人はかの聖火主司長、 そしてもう一人は
Someone's come and
お
requested
そ
to
らく
murder you.
陛下も興味をお持ちになるかと。
行こう。聖火主司長よ。なくした指輪は見つかったのか？
Have you found the lost rings?
見つ
It's
かりました。
yeah, they just take the rings. Does the king know about that?
喜ばしいな。聖火協会の新興国として。
しかし指輪は何者かに奪われてしまいました。私が馳せ参じたのはまさにその件についてです。陛下、何かご存知では？
なぜより問う？
Why ask me? And the ring on his sandal glows.
聖火神の指輪がエドラスを指し示したのです。奪われた指輪はエドラスにあると。
思い違いであろう。世の指に収まりたがっておるのではないか。時に主司長よ。なぜ聖火神はそなたの指におらぬの？
Why does the flame
貴
bringer
様の
not set
先
upon
人たち
your
は
finger?
代々指輪に選ばれていたで
Oh,
あ
as in the flame bringer's ring.
よくご
That's
存
very the way
知
to word it.
陛下はよほど指輪に執着しておられるようだ。
わきまえろ。数奇教団の犬め。世に噛みつくというか。
陛下、覚えておられよ。青き炎はいかなる暗がりも照らすと。
So I found out that he stole the rings and we are walking away. So did we just come here to let he know that we know that he's got the rings? Like just give ourselves away?
指輪が光った。やはりあの者も指輪を持っているのか。おそらく奪われた3つもパーディスの手中にある。さて、どうしたものか。
Alright, I guess our party did not see that the jester stole the rings. That wasn't a cutscene after we left.
帰還せよ。枢機教団からの命令だ。パーディスが裏で手を回したのだろう。警護兵の派遣や多額の寄付など、エドラスは聖火協会を援助している。代わりに枢機教団はパーディスの意向を傾聴し、顧問として教皇に政治的進言をしている。持ちつ持たれつということだ。
Attacking from the front while being foolish, I guess.
選ばれし者よ。
Yeah, so to just walk up to him, accusing him of having the rings. Now he knows that we're onto him.
その戦果はいずれウィッシュベールにも及ぶやもしれぬ。私はゆえあって動けぬ。この一件、そなたに託すがよいか。
Where you seek these stone rings, that's what I've been doing.
礼を言う。あとはそなたに託そう。迷わず進めばいい。指輪に導かれるがままに。
Oh, I was just talking about this earlier. I thought Said I'm just gonna leave at some point. And there he goes. So I really should have tried to challenge this NPC before he left, knowing out of my my most powerful party member. Wonder if he took the his equipment with him. But I could take a chance to see what Pius has got for a moveset. Oh, he's also got an AoE heal. And again, there's so many of those random target skills. I wonder if the entire gacha game is balanced around this. Because I do not remember the original one having this many skills that work like that. I should save first. Alright, Pius has no equipment yet. How this time Mace still had her starting Robin. I think a lot of my party's equipment still outdated. Because at some point I just stopped getting more because I was overleveled for everything anyway. Let's try to get this heavy ball. So that's a bad time to do it since I stopped using bows because my avatar became a scholar. But I'll probably go back to hunt at some point later. I guess 3 out of what, 5 elements I think this game has, in doubt they were wrong. Actually, I think it's 6. It's fire, ice, thunder, wind, plus light and dark. I think they're just not weak to any kind of magic. Paralysis miss like it usually does.
やめたまえ。
そろそろ片付けないと。神の癒しは緩やか。
これはピンチと肌脱ごう。
I guess I'll just go with Taim, no? That they're weakening us.
焦らず行きましょう。任せてちょうだい。
そろそろ片付けないと。
Oh, all three of them were weak to light.
どこからでも来なさい。
リズム感じて。助ける。有名な歌を聞かせましょう。さてと。
Yeah, those status effects attacks me so often. Like it's better to not even bother with them. If only it was more like Digimon where there's attacks that have like double function. They deal damage and they can deal with status effect. So it's not a complete waste if they miss this status effect.
我が名はビアトル。
アキークの誇りにかけて。
If only I knew if any of them are weak against boss.
私は頭脳ロードを担当なのだが。一肌脱ごう。私は頭脳ロードを担当なのだ。そら。いや、そういうことか。
耳を澄ませて。
万丈この一手。一肌脱ごう。仕上げの時だ。聖火の光よ、輝きたま。なんだ。
この気を
Oh,
逃さん。
they don't miss the paralysis.
我が名はビアトル。
これがアキークの狩りだ。アキークの怒りを受けよ。体に教えてやる。
舞台は整った。息つい。いざ。行きますよ。立ちます。今よ。私の番。
Oh, that's again. Also make yourself immune to physical attacks. I think that's one thing that makes her so powerful in the first game.
お任せください。
He also does not have oh, he does have a light magic just because I equipped it to him.
集中します。守りを破りました。
今が攻め時です。焦らずに行きましょう。
後期到来だ。観察してもいられないか。
Oh, that took out two of them. Nice. They do a lot of damage, but their health's not actually that high at least.
いや、ほころびが。
いける。お願い。始まりなさい。感謝ね。大したことなかったわね。私のものね。
Also, she's not even a knight or anything. She's a bird watcher who's stronger than like every boss I fought so far. And since Yuki doesn't use a bow anymore, that's gonna go for Delish instead. And Delish as old bow can go to Dresser. I thought that Alex has a Thunder Skull equipped on her, which is redundant. I think I read lightning damage and I thought it was like light damage as in the holy spell. Interesting arena, the one in Victor Solo is always looking for participants.
教えて。
He can stick a gladiator, at least he could, and can be rather pushing his negotiator, at least he could. Until he was almost hauled off for trying to recruit soldiers for Fedoras. After which he has to exercise a bit more caution. There is a chapter in Octopath 1 which takes place in, I think, that city, Victor Solo. In which the whole chapter is a boss fight, because you just enter the tournament and have to win. So it's just one arena fight after the other. I meant to say the whole chapter is a boss rush.
お美しいわ、エリカ王女様。
ああ、天使のようだ。
王女様が赤子の頃から見守ってきたが、バフレズ将軍が婿なら言うことなしだ。
無敵の獅子がいればエドラス王国は安泰さ。
He'll keep the peace, he's dressed like a villain.
この国は
Look
きっ
at,
と良く
look
なる
at
わ。
his outfit.
エリカ様。これ家で焼いたパイです。お祝いに。あら。
ダメだダメだ。下賤なものの下賤なパイなど何が入っているかわからん。我が国を狙う輩は腐るほどいるからな。
そんな、私は。おやめなさい。
And that's the kingdom don't have this many enemies.
ベリーパイね。私の好物よ。エリカ様、どうかお幸せに。ありがとう。嬉しいわ。エドラス王国は民に支えられています。彼女はこの国の宝よ。忘れないで。
失礼しました。
その通りです、エリカ様。民なくして国はありません。
マフレズ、ありがとう。あなたと私で父を支えていきましょう。
おい、見ろよ。
But then what was it about the NPC who was saying that after the princess gets married they're going to war? These two are acting too nice. At least one of them is gonna turn out to be super evil later. This game's already taught you to pretty much never trust anybody in a position of power. Which, to be fair, also applies to real life.
恐ろしい。
だが生きるにはあの方に従うしかない。民は王を選べないからな。
エリカ様とマフレズ様の知性になれ
If
ば。
Princess Ulrich can learn Maris
この
Road
国は
instead,
良くなるの。
then sure our kingdom would be bad for it. That's for sure going to backfire. Yo, put these two in power and they'll turn out to be even worse than the king was.
貴様まだこんなところに。
I came to kill the king, remember?
王への謁見は済んだはずだ。まだ何かあるとでも。
Yeah, but he's still alive, that's the
ダメだ
problem.
ダメだ。下賤なものに構う暇など陛下にはない。王家の許可でもあれば別だがな。
しましょう。あれがなければ姉さんを祝福できないわ。
Am I to congratulate my sister without her?
どうしましょう。申し訳ありません。私の手違いで。
But it just looks like my avatar was trying to assassinate the king by walking through the front door. Which is not how I do it.
まあ、レブラント、本当に？でも危険です。
問題ありません。
でも
ご心配でしたら誰かに同行を頼みます。どうかご安心を、アラウネ様。
ありがとう、レブラント。あの花があればきっと姉さんは喜ぶわ。
あなたはそうですか。あな
They
た
have worked out for exploits.
バローネの強欲の魔女を倒されたと聞き及んでいます。実はその腕を見込んでお願いがござい
I
ます。
didn't know I was famous.
式蓮花という花を摘みに行くのですが、
I mean, the quest was called the Quest of Fame, so I guess I'm getting what I signed up for.
もしよければご同行願いませんかな。ありがとうございます。式蓮花の花言葉は永遠のちびり。それを花嫁に贈るのがこの国のしきたりなのです。花はクラグスピアの西、薬式の洞窟に咲いています。どうかお力添えを。
I think if my avatar could speak, he'd straight up tell them that he's planning on killing the king and expect them to go along with it. I think I've gone to this cave already. Was it for that side quest with the stakes? I think there was one cave I went to. I thought I'll probably be back here for a main quest later. Oh, we don't have Sazantos anymore, but Pios also has an AoE spell. So I think we can still end all those fights quickly.
万丈この一そらいいかここまでだいい論文が書けそうだ
Because this game does not have an auto mode, so you just have to learn how to speedrun the random battles. At least for as long as the encounters are weak enough that you can easily clear them like this without they even getting a chance to attack you. I'll say the way this game is balanced, I really wish there was an auto mode. Because it's a bit like Time Stranger, because in that game, in practice, Time Stranger practically didn't have random battles, because you could toggle on auto mode and clear them through the entire game with like no difficulty. And the actual like fighting thing was left mostly to the boss fights. I think a game like this one, the point of the random battles isn't even to challenge you, it's just to be something that wears on your resources, like your SP and your items and such. And you have to be ready to not run out of them by the time you actually get to the boss.
聖火の光よ輝きたまえ。
いやここまでだ。真理への道は一日にしてならす。さ
Personally, I would like it if like the battles were less frequent but more difficult each. Because clearing them quickly like this is easy, but it's not exactly fun. I could like do it the right way every time you focus on breaking enemy shields and all that.
万物をなく
But by doing this, would be like
いやここまでだ。
consciously not going for what's just a more efficient option. Which is something I never like to do in a video game. It's a Digitamamon. Speaking of Digimon.
さて万物をなく聖火の光よ輝きたま
いや終わりだな。いい論文が書けそうだ。
A Saintly Tiara sounds like something I would want to wear. And sure enough, it's gonna give me a lot more SP. And my tank still has a very bad shield. I have to address this later.
歌になりましょう。はあ風さてと万物をなく風よなぎ
万空。いやここまでだ。真理への道は一日にしてならす。さ フィールドワークと行こう。
さて聖火の光よ輝きたまえ。
有効性を確認。
やりますか。清めの炎を。
耳を澄ませて力を込めてさっとしてました。もう大丈夫ですよ。ここが私たちのステージ。万物をなく
Oh yeah, I'll talk SP after
幸運の風よ。
万丈。
that to some items.
だいぶ手応えあり。
Also looks like just spamming your AoE attacks is starting to not work anymore.
や最後です。
Never mind.
さっぱりしましたね。
And I do not have nearly as many SP items as I thought I had sucked up. That's a bit troubling.
私を退屈させないでくれよ。
さてと
よく観察して。
一肌脱ごう。畳みかけるぞ。
全力を出してください。
畳みかけましょう。
一気に叩く。攻め時だ。
いける。後期到来だ。
Oh, fail. That skill is basically like stealing, but you get just money instead of items, if it works.
畳みかけましょう。
アキークの狩り
一気に覚悟終わりです。修行の成果が出ました。
Because I recalled way back in this playthrough, like stocking up for the boss fight against August. Then it ended up being pretty easy because I was overleveled, and I thought I had like never used up this Sasha fight since I got way back then. Because the Titus fight was also very easy.
行くわよ。よくそういうことか。やめたまえ。
片付けないと。あとは引き受けた。
万丈
一肌脱ごう。
リズムを感じてお任せください。行くわよ。私の番。
こっちの番だ。
Let's already have a visual up here.
我が名はビアトだ。行くぞ。当てられるものか。
どうする？
Only for the enemy to not target him, anyway.
私の番。お願い。風よ、嘆きますよ。いざ。ここは私の舞台。すぐ直します。
アキークの誇りにかけて。
You gotta try access on him already.
砕けろ。
行きますよ。お願いします。力を込めて。やっ。しまった。さてと。頼むわね。お願い。歌いなさい。
アキークの誇りにかけて。ねえ、畳みかけるぞ。
この気を逃さん。お任せください。
Oh, I was gonna say the ice elemental should be to fire, but is a lightning elemental. I assume ice because he's, well, he's blue.
成果のご加護。
冬季到来だ。アキークの怒りを受けよ。体に教えてやる。
今よ。私の。
Yes, also does not really have a like big damaging skill. I have to do it with just a wind spell.
畳みかけましょう。返し切り。独特の歌を聞かせましょう。
今のうちですね。お願いしていいですか。我が名はビアトル。
耳を澄ませて。
Also, I don't know if that plain strike that this enemy does counts as a physical or a spell attack. If there's an elemental, like it's just pure magic, then all of its attacks should be elemental, right?
お任せください。
任せてもらう。
そういうことか。
こっちの番だ。
Oh, it was weak to fire.
力を込める。どこからでも来なさい。
任せてちょうだい。よく観察して
一肌脱ごう。
あーっと待った行くわね。頼むわね。味わいなさい。食らいなさい。
さあ、行くぞ。我が名はビアトル。
こちらの番です。行くよ。焦らずに行きましょう。リズムを 感じてお任せください。はじける。
It's not time to go out yet.
特急の歌を聞かせましょう。
お任せください。清めの炎を。
今のうちね。
これがキープの狩りだ。知恵こそが全てに勝る。雷鳴よ、轟き響け。全力だ。一肌脱ごう。バカだ。雷よ、貫け。
整った。お任せください。はじける。特急の歌を聞かせましょう。全力で頼むわね。ここからよ。
全力を集中します。
I think in case it doesn't, I should have a Viator up front now. Oh, nice. Yeah, it was enough. And got one Radiant Cornerstone from that. And a Noxious Spider Axe. Oh, and it came poison. I think Alex is one who like pretty much never has to worry about SP because she has ways of getting it back.
任せてちょうだい。頼むわね。行きますよ。この隙に。
一気に叩く。私に力を。清めの炎を。手加減はしません。お任せを。守りを破りました。
今よ。
Hi there, knight.
頼むわね。
I was just talking about how you kinda in this game you kinda sleep through the random encounters, at least until the point I am right now. And for that reason I wish there was an auto mode. Because it would work pretty much like in Time Strange, where you just auto battle all the random encounters. And then the actual fighting starts to the bosses. But in this game it had to be on the bosses and the elite enemies. Which I was just fighting one. Viator's armor is also pretty starter. Why did I leave my tank with such weak defensive equipment? I was trying to get to the boss fight faster, but I guess these enemies don't wanna let me. Like, isn't that the worst thing when you're ready to start the boss and then game wanna throw the random encounter on the way? Speaking of birds, I think that's gonna be the boss. It's gonna like swoop in from this opening.
ありました。式連歌です。これでエリカ様を祝福できますぞ。城へ急ぎましょう。
待ちな。
Never mind, it's a person.
その紋章、エドラス王国の。
The bird does remind me a lot of a certain Digimon, but I forgot what it was called.
貴様ら、盗賊か。
I think there's like a Tango Digimon that looks a bit like them.
さあ、二度言わすな。
その構え、我が国の。
バレた。昔はあんたらの国に仕える剣士だったんだぜ。
何？
だが、あの王の気まぐれで
His Majesty banished me on a whim.
食いぶちなんてね、こうするしかないんだよ。
だが、こちらも屈するわけにはいかない。
やれやれ、仕方ない。じゃあ力ずくか。死んで後悔しな。
今日は好きじゃないわ。
Despite showing up in the cutscene, the Athena is not actually in battle as a helper. He did that just for show.
行くわよ、万物を投ぐ。
Now it's time to play Gas Sweet spell they're weak against.
弱点ね。
考えた。よく観察して。有効性を確認。こっちの番だ。
我が名はビアトル。
行くわよ。
炎をよく観察して。分析に回らせてもらうよ。
任せて。
分析に回らせてもらうよ。
I'd better not use so many spells just to break their shields, otherwise I'll be out of SP by the time they are broken.
一肌脱ごう。リズム。潜らない。
力ずくだ。さあ、行くぞ。当てられるものか。
リズムを感じてお任せください。しっかり行きますよ。焦らずに行きましょう。
剣ってのはこう使う。
さてと頼むわね。あなた、ここからよ。もうこってやった。
全力で行く。どこからでも来なさい。
これがアキークの
Nice, my tank is set up.
アキークの怒りを受けよ。体に教えてやる。後期到来だ。
私は頭脳労働担当なのだが、知恵こそが全てに勝る。雷鳴よ、轟き響け。
耳を澄ませて。息つい。急所です。
死んで後悔しな。さあ、行くぞ。
He did a attack called Skull Thrust, which sounds pretty scary. But good thing Vator had a parry on.
我が名はビアトル。
いや、お願い。えい。
こっちの番だ。お任せください。私に力を。成果のご加護。
さてと炎よ燃えろ。
万丈この一手。
一肌脱ごう。
やっ仕上げの時だ。
今が攻め時です。私の舞台。身を委ねて。
I keep going for these status effects even though I know that they're not going to work.
勝ちます。全力で。
そうら。
アキークの誇りにかけては。
さて、やりますか。我が名はビアトル。
万丈この一肌脱ごう。やっ行くわよ。
こっちの番だ。
こちらの番です。
さてと
うまく戦いにかけましょう。
これがアキークの狩り。体に教えてやる。
集中します。清めの炎を。
力を込めて勝ち切るです。全力で
頼むわ。これがアキークの狩りだ。力だけじゃない、闇を包み込め。
全力を出してください。力を込める。見込む。
よく観察して。
I just got life steal,
こちらの番です。
which makes sense since that's usually a thief skill. I actually used that life steal was far on this because I was the most when I played Octopath 1 because my protagonist was the thief. And it pretty much like this instead of having any healer for him.
お願い。
さあ、行くぞ。私に力を。神の癒しは緩む。
万丈この一手。一肌脱ごう。行くわよ。
行きますよ。
さて、やりますか。神の癒しは緩む。
こちらの番です。ここは私の舞台。
行くわよ。うまくこれがアキークの狩りだ。力だけじゃない、床槌を貫け。
全力を出してください。
手強い相手でした。
その腕、盗賊にしておくには惜しい。もう一度剣士として陛下に尽くさないか。
あのパーディス3世にか。
You can make fun of hearing people with a book, but some are really heavy.
当時、俺たちの隊は戦果を上げ、国へ帰還した。
I mean, you can kill someone with a book.
出迎えた王への隊長の態度が良くなかった。
And the only stats scholars, stats the class in this game are probably especially heavy.
神戸を垂れるのが少し遅れた。それだけで隊長は斬首された。部下は皆国を追われ、この通りだ。知ってるだろ。
Like killing someone with the weight of knowledge.
さあ、やれよ。殺さねえと次も襲うぜ。
Now kill me, don't really stop me for good. Can I do it with my book?
地獄で見てよ。あの王の末路をな。
Right, yeah, Thane still does know that I also want to kill the king. It's gonna be awkward when he finds out. It's like I'm talking about how the random battles are pretty easy and so are the bosses so far, even though they're supposed to be on level. But I wonder if that's the same on the gacha game that this is based on, like Asumu that one has most of the same bosses. And as a gacha, of course, it's gonna be designed to be harder and more frustrating, so you're incentivized to spend money on it. The king has a ring, the king has one, and his jester stole the other rings. Although, like, who knows about this other than us, the audience, is ambiguous, because I think the jester steals the ring in the cutscene where my avatar is not present. But I'm not sure if even the king knows about that. Oh, that my avatar knows so far is that the king has one ring. And he's suspicious that is what the rest.
荒畝様、ただいま戻りました。
レブラント。
Speaking of the rings, I still have to try out the other two oaths that I got from collecting the other rings. Although since I lost them, I think I don't have access to them anymore. I wasn't paying attention to that. So far, I haven't needed to use the oath too many times anyway. But each ring is supposed to enable you to use one ultimate attack.
祝福できます。父に謁見したいと。
And now this is my father, yeah, audience.
父は用心深い人です。簡単ではないでしょう。でもマフレズ将軍なら。式が終わったら彼に話をしてみます。姉さん、洗うね。おめでとう、姉さん。ありがとう、洗うね。
式蓮か、なんと見事な。この花に誓うよ、エリカ。命尽きる時まで君を永遠に愛す。
マフレズ、私も誓うわ。あなたを永遠に愛します。
陛下。
マフレズ、世はそなたが剣を握る前から知っていた。兵になるや戦果を上げ続け、我が国が誇る志士となった。マフレズ、我が息子。
なんとありがたきお言葉。
娘は手をかけ育てた。よろしく。
命に変えても。
マフレズ、次の戦が待っている。
Our wars will not wait.
宴を終えたら即刻出発せよ。
はっ。
お父さん。エリカ様。王の御前です。お召し物をお買いに。ごめんね、急ぎのようなの。陛下、お話があります。
申してみよ
次の戦を行うのは早計かと存じます。リーベン王国は5つの小国を滅ぼしたと法が入りました。かの国とは不可侵条約を結んだとはいえ、かつては敵国。今西方異民族を攻めれば攻撃されるかもしれ
Alright,
ま
moment
せ
I
ん。
thought things would go badly.
そ
I
れに
was saying they
戦が
would
続き
like
兵たちも疲
from
弊
the
してい
start of
ま
the stream pretty much.
す。数日ほど休
So
息を
about
与
how
えて
this
はいか
scope
がで
was
しょう
coming
か。
across two nights, so at least one of them is gonna have something really nasty later.
う。なるほど。そうかそうか。エリカ。世に立てつくというのか。
そんなことは。
最初剣を取ってまいれ。
お父様。
So does having a ring makes you a psychopath, or does do the rings only choose the psychopaths to bear them? And if, like, either way, what does that say about my avatar?
もう少し利口だと思っていた。だが娘の血を見るのは心が痛む。レブラント、娘が赤子の頃からしつけさせ
I'm
て
being charged with her education since she was but an
学問
infant.
に剣に
So you are gonna kill her?
すべてを任せた。
その通りでございます。
つまり娘の過ちは貴公の非と言える。
Oh, he is going to die on her behalf.
レブラント、貴公は王女の教育を誤った。重罪だ。
The screen is about to flash red.
ざまずけ。
お父様。申し訳ございません。レブラントに罪はありません。すべては私の過ち。私が愚かでした。今後一切の進言はいたしません。どうか許しを。陛下。
不問としよう。愛娘に免じてな。
エリカ様、
Meanwhile, what was Yuki up to? I think it's gonna be an awkward spot for the Avatar now, because he doesn't have like any helper buddy for this quest after Sazonto's left, so there is nobody to like speak on his behalf in cutscenes. This is a game where I wish it had like more ways to give your avatar a personality. Basically, have like dialogue options that matter. I think it would fit with the theme of just choosing your path and your job and everything.
王様が満足するまで続くのさ。大陸全部がエドラスになるまでか。違いねえ。だがこの国は無敵だ。マフレズ将軍がいるんだからよ。 君は荒梅様から聞いたぞ。盗賊を倒し花を届けてくれたと。礼を言う。ありがとう。君は陛下に謁見したいらしいな。だが戦の最中だ。容易には叶えられまい。そこでだ。
Maybe
我
the
が
king
国の
also
兵
wants a
となら
floor.
ないか。戦で武勲を立てれば陛下にお会いできるだろう。あのレブラントも君の腕を押していた。しばらく戦は続く。考えておいてくれたまえ。誇り高きエドラスの兵よ、命を賭しこの獅子に続け。エドラスの誇りを胸に出発だ。
おお、王国軍の凱旋だ。
Army returning. Did they just have a time skip?
勝利だ、勝利だ。
The army looks a lot smaller now that it's gone back.
無事だったのね。
エリカ様、私は式連歌の花に何と誓いましたか。
He didn't even get to enjoy his wife. What do you mean by that? But so he asked my avatar if he would help, then time skipped when they come back from the war. So did my avatar do anything? I think that because the gacha game does not have an avatar character, he's just kind of awkwardly inserted into the plot now. But I don't think he's been doing enough.
その獅子のごとき強さ、我が国の宝ぞ。
ありがたきお言葉。
さあ息子よ、父を抱きしめてくれ。
Embrace your father, don't.
喜んで。
Can't you hear the ominous music playing? I actually thought the game would throw me into a whole campaign of helping Edoras in the war. Like that would be the following chapters until I could come back and meet the king.
お前には強き志と民を思う優しさがある。すなわち指導者の才じゃ。私は長くはない。お前が国を導いてくれ。
Rumble anniversary stream tonight.
パーティスの名に誓って。
Oh, anniversary, does that mean there's like free posts going on in the game?
エドラスの光よ。
Because I'll at least open the game for that. I will at least like look at what they reveal later, because there might have some things I care about. Especially if well, it's not gonna happen because he already announced like the expansion for Relink. I was thinking of the Emperor's announcing another new game, because that could be pretty exciting. Because I'm very open to like still streaming something of Grand Blue Fantasy. I'm just not playing the gacha anymore. But I do want to play Relink at some point. There's one day and I remember the times when in occasions like this you'd get 10 pulls each day.
ルステラを滑る玉座にな。
So my avatar just vanished after Marius asked if he would help with the army. Is my party is rested? So I'm taking a break now. See you in a moment. Hi there. So Night had brought up Grumble, and I was actually thinking about that game earlier today. Actually, I didn't actually know about the live stream I was just talking about. It's just for some reason I woke up today thinking of Grumble Fantasy. And I was thinking it could be that from the time I played the game, my mind might have like a lingering biological clock that's trying to send me a signal that it's the anniversary now and I should log in to get the free posts. Yeah, which is easier with Grumble since it's just a browser game, so you don't have that usual thing with catch games where if you don't play them for a long time, you have to go through a massive download of the updates if you try to open it again. Sometimes I think of like I should log into my Musume whenever there's free posts going on, and then I remember, wait, but massive updates. Maybe it's not worth it.
Heika. 勝利は目前でございます。
And for that reason, I whole missed like any free stuff that that game might have gave out in this new year. And side games did not do that thing I thought they were going to do, since this was the year of the horse and they own both Grumble and Mamusume. They would make like one character that appears on both games. And as it turns out, the New Year's horse girl added to Grumble is just a human with fake horse ears.
誇り高きエドラスの兵よ、西方異民族は長きにわたり我が祖国を冒涜してきた。我らの誇りを見せてやろうではないか。ガイスト教国を落とし、民の平穏を取り戻すのだ。この戦、全身全霊で臨め。
見事だ、マフレズ。兵の士気が高い。この戦も勝利は固いな。しくじるなよ。
Well, there also was a collab between Grumble and Umamusume. It was like Umamusume competing Grumble, not the other way around. If they ever do it the other way around, they at least already have a character to use for that.
どちらがふさわしいか。
そうか。
幼き日、俺たちは陛下に拾われ、互いに腕を磨いた。陛下のため、国のため、強くなろうと。だが、貴様の方が気に入られた。 それだけだ。
私も陛下に忠誠を誓い、ここまで歩んできた。だが近頃思うのだ。陛下はこの国を。
準備は良いか。
陛下。
苦しゅうない。表を上げようマフレス。ソナタはエドラスに多くの勝利をもたらした。
Blonde gets with a princess that's basically climber. I was thinking that's basically live alive. Which actually had a crossover event in the gacha game for Octopath. By the way, I don't actually know what climb is. But unfortunately, that content is not adapted into Octopath Zero here.
何ですと。戦に陛下の手を煩わせるわけには。
マフレス、そなたの力を疑ってはおらぬ。だが西方異民族の排斥は宿願であった。世は見届けたい。奴らが我が手に落ちる。
Laid low with mine own hand.
では手厚くお守りします。必ず
So am I going to go help the Westling so I can kill the king when he comes attack them?
期待しているぞ。
I think that's how it's gonna work.
者ども、命を賭し国の土となれ。エドラスの誇りを胸に。
Hey, remember me?
おや、君は考えてくれたかね。我が軍への参加を。
You fought it over my invitation to march.
おお、
Was that still in consideration?
これから赴く戦いは
Because you was set and then the army left, so I thought my character had just
君
refused.
のような達人は心強い。ありがとう。わからぬことは周囲の兵たちに聞いてくれ。期待しているぞ。エリカ様。
マフレズ、父をどうか。
先ほど心強い味方もできました。必ずや陛下をお守りします。
ありがとう。そしてあなたも。
ご心配には及びません。
戦に出かけるとき、あなたはいつもそう言うわ。帰りを待つ者の気など知らないくせに。
これは失礼を。
だけどあなたは死なないわ。無敵の獅子だもん。
You will return, I sure.
エリカ様、獅子にキスしていただけますか。
Isn't that a very typical death flag? Like the army guy that has his wife waiting back home?
いってらっしゃい。
Especially if you emphasize it like this.
必ず帰るよ。
Like this will totally show up in a flashback later. Complete with my avatar, like awkwardly standing next to him.
戦場はガイスト強国だ。我が軍は一足先に陣を敷いている。戦場で待っているぞ。
Why do we have a King Arthur like character suddenly? Yeah, this is from a gacha game, which gacha does not have a King Arthur. Although it's main of them that joke would work better if it was like which gacha game does not have a John Dark standing. Which this game might well have later on. So that's still the only... Oh, there's some new stuff to take on here. There's a level 18 quest here. I guess I've been neglecting it. And usually I think I'll be like to a higher level already for whatever reward there is for this to be worth it. But those quests could just, they just might be tied to like new party members. I haven't to meet my son, could you please tell him to come home? And he's not even that far away. Travel to Valor in hopes of doing business, but the wars between the syndicates make staying alive all about all he can do. I guess I have to bring him back, like as a recruit. If there's a level 18 quest, I think I was supposed to do this like right after I finish the first quest line, like the one with Firmino. Oh well, that was it. Despite the level requirement, it actually didn't involve any fighting. Do you know that the shit of Excalibur is a mystical object with its own power? I didn't. And was even stronger than the sword, also didn't. So do you like just beat people with the shit instead of with the sword itself? It is a very beautiful ship. We are accosted by Colossal Beast. We are gaping hole in her hole. Easier said than done. Cost 80,000 lives. Basically gives you from have your HP go down in game terms, so it's a god mode equipment. I think of a certain Terraria mod which had a sword weapon, which was like... it was like the Excalibur in that you find it stuck to a rock. But you can't actually pull it out of the rock, so you just like pick up the sword with the rock attached to the end of it and use it that way. And I think it was called like Rock Excalibur or something. Search for a way to repair the vessel. So I have to find the man who built the... Oh, you really just have to pay out to repair. And I thought for a second about maybe that's just gonna be the objective, but I don't know, RPGs just usually don't go for the obvious route like this. I ought to have like go to a dungeon to find some valuable treasure that I sell to repair the ship. But it's not that, you just really have to pay up. Which is interesting, and I'm assuming that completing this might let me use the ship. That would be nice. Also, that enemy was a thing. Which enemy? And I forgot what I was gonna do. So now I'm actually gonna have to try and save money to pay for this. At least I'm almost halfway there with 36,000. And having Trestle on the party should help a bit with getting more money. In Octopath 1, Tressa had a passive where you would get money just by walking around, because game would say that Tressa found just some leaves lying around. I don't think she has it in this game. And there's a chest left behind. And all that for a Thunder Soul Stone, I think I've yet to use on those. They're basically like a single use spell. You can only swing it after the wall is defeated. I had forgotten about that. Ixion Saga, because the sword that they rock on it. I think that's the first time I'm hearing of this anime. But it might be what this Terraria mod took inspiration from.
いや終わりだな。いい論文が書けそうだ。
I'm supposed to go west, but there's this treasure chest over there.
万丈そうだ。いやここまでだ。真理への道は一日にしてならす。さ。
ここが私たちか。万物を
万そうだ。いやここまでだ。いい論文が書けそうだ。
Looks like this is gonna be a huge map to traverse. I guess it's basically a dungeon. This might already be the boss. This dungeon music is playing on the background. ENIX Mastery. Oh, an AoE X attack. Guess I didn't have one so far. Can go to Macy since I never used this Songa Nightfall anyway. In fact, that one should probably go to Yuki instead. And Macy can now learn her last skill, which I think is gonna be the first one that I get at this point. Which increases the effects of healing items during battle. Oh, I didn't realize that you could see the character portraits in this screen. And by the way, this is only for the main character, which I don't think we ever saw in the game before. Yeah, and outside of the game's context is usually referred to as just the ring bearer. I'm still not sure what the influence here, like what this affects in the game. And here we can see party chat. But I don't think it will like bring back the onus that you missed the first time. Because before I thought that party chats only ever happened in Wishvale, but then there was one in the town I was just at. So I might actually have missed some in the past.
よく観察して。こっちの番だ。ここだな。
Also, Beatrice attacked the outslip to this enemy. First time I see that happen.
よく観察して。
手応えあり。
こっちの番だ。おっと、よし、今だ。
舞台とてもお任せください。この隙に力で間違いなさい。ありよ。大したことなかったわね。
すぐ終わらせます。
Oh, this one looks like a Pokemon.
さてと、やっ
万丈この一手。想定通り。単純な攻撃だな。
全力で。えい。舞台整った。
もうやるべきことは分かるね。
やっ。
この気を逃さん。攻め時だ。
舞台。バンブ行くわよ。やっ。
こっちの番。よっ、終わりです。いい勝負でした。すぐ終わらせます。
お任せください。いざここは万物をなく
ものをよく考えろ。いいか、ここまでだ。
So this still works, but you run out of SP pretty fast. And I'm short on SP items. Plus from now on I should avoid spending because of the quest to repair the ship that I have now. Sell some other equipment. That could help, but then I don't think I even have that much, that many other equipment. Because like as I've got a ton of party members, even the worst equipment still has someone to go through. Research got me nowhere, just that it's stuff for the MC in terms of NPC interactions. So I'm guessing to affect like the odds you have of entreating an item or like base anything and stuff. Okay, you might consider the alignment of each card in your party. Like I found out just earlier that Viator still had some pretty bad equipment for I think like starter equipment. I'd fight a menacing Carminigo. Which looks like it's about to do something really nasty, like 3 turns. I wish I still had the Rain of Arrows now. I had to find a way to have the Leash to learn that skill.
私の番。いくよー。やっ。
さあ行くぞ。当てられるものか。
任せてもらおう。任せて。
分析に回らせてもらうよ。
仕上げの時だ。
一気に叩く。全力で行く。
Now you're sparing.
どこからでも来なさい。
これがキークの狩りだ。
イカズチを貫け。
Are birds weak to lightning here, like in Pokemon?
ここは私。助ける。潜らない。
感謝します。
今よ。お願い。頼むわね。
礼を言うよ。
感謝するわ。
単純な攻撃だな。
お任せください。
万丈この
一肌脱ぐ。
さあ行くぞ。我が名はビアトル。こっちの番だ。
And now I think I just have to keep deep
我
provoke
が名はビアトル。
for it to keep attacking Viator.
お願い。任せても。やこちらの番です。それアキークの誇り。やさてと、今のうちね。畳みかけましょう。お任せください。おとなしくしていてください。
Oh, Mace's paralysis worked for the first time in this stream, I think.
頼みました。
My voice even cracked because I was so surprised.
清めの炎を。
全力味わいなさい。風よなぎ倒す。畳みかけましょう。助ける。特急の歌を聞かせましょう。
全力を出してください。
全力で行く。行こ
これがキークの狩りだ。
イカズチを貫け。
リズムを感
Nice.
じて。息つい。
Like against enemies like this, who are bit they're usually either full physical or full spellcasters, it's surprisingly easy to make it so Viator can pretty much take no damage.
集中します。
And if I fully charge this skill on Bills, the shield gives the like complete immunity for the next attack. So I know what to use next time there's a boss with a charge up skill like this.
清めの炎を。
さて私の番。ここからお見舞いすれば。
よく観察して。
一肌脱ごう。これならば行きますよ。さあこの隙
今の
に
うちですね。
お任せを。我が名はビアトル。
到来だ。
私は力だけじゃない。イカズチを貫け。
味わいなさい。
No, not analyze. It's I meant to use the fire spell. I thought the game would like focus on it automatically.
全力で。片付いた。
Oh, that's for now. Might Olive. And I don't know if that does. It revives and fully restores self of Power Alice. And I have a 45 nut here, but and it increases physical attack, but now I realize I have almost no physical fighters. I mean, there's the Alicia, but I'm not sure how long I'm keeping her. I might still save this to use on Yuki whenever he goes back to being a hunter. Because you think that Viator is a physical fighter, but he practically doesn't attack, he just tanks. Teresa is also physical, but she is not to focus on damage. Same for Macy. But might as well. I think I still gonna use Scholar for a while. Because it's very powerful to just clear random battles quickly, as you've seen so far in this stream.
万物をなく炎よ燃えろよくかそら雷よ貫けこっちの番だ
リズム感じてやっ終わりですもう大丈夫ですよ
And I really just wish you could combine two classes like you could in one. But then the other day I realized why this game lets you have 8 party members at once. Because in the first Octopath, all characters could have 2 classes each, like... say, Tress is a merchant by default, but you could add one other class on top of that. She couldn't ever not be a merchant, but... her secondary class could be any other. Which meant that each character had essentially 2 sets of weapons they could use and 2 separate movesets. In this game, every character has 1 fixed class except for the main character who can change them. And so that's why you have 8 party members, because the way it works is you have 2 characters per slot and you swap them around. So that's a substitute for 1 character having 2 classes instead of 2 characters with 1 class each in every slot. Yeah, this might have been their thought process when designing the gacha game. The resistant nut can go to Yuki, like defense is never gonna be useless for any class. Thus should be giving some to Sauris as well. We have the God of War and the Lion of Fedoras on our side. He sat at the king causing stuff. Send the result to drive them from the land. I think how much time is passing while I'm doing this quest, because there's a whole military campaign going on and so far I'm kind of just lurking through it.
Barnesよ、本陣の守護は頼んだぞ。陛下が布陣しておられる。くれぐれもな。
はっ、お任せください、マフレズ様。この地は絶壁に立つ高所です。
After starting cliff, you have an advantage. Would be even more so if I still was a hunter.
念のため、後ろにも兵を配置しろ。
はあ、しかし背後も断崖ですぞ。
油断するな。戦では何事も起こりうる。
With how much time has passed, Azanthus must be wondering, like, whatever he is. If I'm done with the taking the rings back thing already. And I like, practically didn't start yet.
ところで覚悟はいいか敵軍に毒蛇虫ウヒが参戦しているらしい
Após fez sorrir de Viper will rejoin the fray. The different sides of 10 generals.
蛇ごときに負けるわ
He
けにはい
shot
か
loose
な
to
い
a snake.
その毒が獅子がへし折ってくれよ遅れを取るなよクラウザ
貴様
この戦一筋縄ではいかぬようだ君には後陣で陛下の守護を任せる成し遂げれば
Riser feels a bit backstabber code, like if Maris turns out to just be good and he's not gonna turn on me, then this guy might.
マフレズ敵将の首必ずや取ってきてみせよ
はっ私に続け
The Viper's poison can die even lion. I think it's Sauris who has a weapon called the Viper Chakram which can poison. I think that's why I gave it to.
こいつら神のようだ異民族どもめ失望させてくれる
どうも腑に落ちる敵将の守りが薄すぎはしないか
Defense on their generals fight too weak.
我らが強いのだろう
あの剣士はどうした毒蛇の虫ウ
ヒもうその辺に転がっているさ
まさか守りを捨て陛下の首を取り
They forsaken their defense to kill King Parsi. And I think that if my avatar was smarter, he would have taken the chance to like switch sides and help them kill the king, since that was the whole point. But alas. Let's at least save first, so better king to rest here.
手早く片付けましょう。
敵中敵中バカな崖を越えてきたというのかしかし敵兵は少数立て直せ陛下をお守りするのだ
なんと隊長殿が
He one shot him.
こちらには数がある一斉にかかれ叶わぬあの剣もしや
And my avatar is not acting, which for once is the smart thing to do. Like let them wait down the army before you do anything.
守りを捨てての速攻を選んだがどうやら千載一遇の好機に恵まれた自ら戦場に首をさらすとは
But if I'm about to fight in 10, that's weird because again, I'm here to get the ring that the king has. I mean, the rings in plural. So if I'm gonna defend him now, it's a bit counterproductive to that.
それほど安い首ではないぞ
Maybe it's so that Misui doesn't take the ring for himself.
頼りない兵に代わり出てきたかエドラス王国恐るるに足らんここで倒さねば 苦しむ人が出る。
もう振らない。行くわよ。
Oh, Viator is out of SP to think of to address that.
ありがとう。
万丈この一手。そら、そういうことか。
こっちの番だ。我が名はビアトル。
さてと頼むわね。お願い。リズム感じて。息つく。焦らずに行きましょ
よく観察して。
一肌脱ごう。任せて。
I realize that in this role here, I really gonna have to have someone with a healing skill.
分析に回らせてもらうよ。
Like, I'm often in a situation where I think I have to heal now, but neither the Lisho or Alexa can do it.
貫け。
こっちの番だ。頼みました。
If his very spells might end up breaking it by accident, is that how we kill him?
お任せを。
お任せください。はあ、成果のご加護。
リズム感じて。いざ。すぐに出します。行くわよ。
よく観察して。
輝きたまえ。
来想定通
無駄です。今のうちですね。お願いしていいですか。
どこからでも来なさい。
全力で。光よ。輝きたまえ。
全力だ。
As the line he says when he uses the light spell there is exactly the same as what Ophelia says in Octopath Traveler.
体に教えてやる。
この気を逃さん。我が名は
畳みかけましょう。焦らずに行きましょう。
I should have killed Cyrus first.
任せてもら
But
おう。
she's just barely survived that.
任せて。
知恵こそが全てに勝る。雷鳴よ、轟き響け。
感謝します。
ありがとう。
許しません。
行くぞ。
I did not think she'll die from the poison. Oh dear. Can he die Charis template? What's that a reference to?
我が名は
行くわよ。頼むわね。行くよ。やった
気を逃さん。力を込める。当てられるも。
やるべきことはわかるね。
一肌脱ごう。体に教えてやる。ますよ。すぐ直します。行くよ。
Do I have any help with antidote? I don't.
ここからよ。もう来ないで。行くよ。こちらの番です。
I not to adjust your tongue while the charge is in your mouth. I never saw that before.
さあ、行くぞ。
What buff is Viator running out on? It's going to be out of parry soon.
頼みました。
I have to find out if he's weak against anything that Bill says, so he can help break the shield.
そういうことか。
Oh, he's weak to stats, nice.
この一手。おっと。対策は当然。こちらの番です。行きますよ。おとなしくしていてください。こっちの番だ。
I hope there's like a way to improve the accuracy on those Star's effects moves, because they miss way too often.
お任せください。集中します。聖火心よ。
さあどうする？
全力を出してください。私に力を、清めの炎を
畳みかけましょう。おとなしくしていてください。
わかるね。
But enough, it seems to work more often if I don't charge it.
一肌脱ごう。おきすます。体に教えてやる。味わいなさい。聖火の光を輝きたまえ。任せてもらおう。
The appearance is procced and it actually worked for Antano, which is double, like rare to see.
手加減はしませんよ。お願いしていいですか？我が名はビアトル。
私のピアト。やっ、行きますよ。おとなしくしていてください。こっちの番だ。
どこからでも来なさい。
With nice sense. It's gonna counter any spears, daggers, wind or daggers, so a bunch of stuff that is not weak against, so I won't use that anyway.
分析に回らせてもらう。お見舞いしよう。
さあどうする？いや、行きますよ。おとなしくしていてください。
対策は当然だ。
我が名はビアトル。
こちらの番です。
And I forgot that so when Mace uses rest, she also heals her own SP, not just her HP. And since it's a recovery skill, it can trigger Bone of Healing, which will extend any buff she's got. Like, I think now if you could have a double class in this game that could mix Macy with a Warrior class, she could be an excellent tank. Because then you can just provoke the enemy, keep resting to heal yourself. Like out heal the damage they deal to you. If I can teach Macy to use provoke at some point, it might be worth trying to go for a tank build, where she provokes and then keeps spamming rest on herself. And rest is free, so she won't even be using any SP. Yeah, he's not quite dead yet.
当てられるものか。こちらの番です。ここですね。さてと。頼むわね。
よく観察して。そういうことか。
行きますよ。
こっちの番だ。力を。
よく観察して。
I wonder if this game is gonna have like this kind of stuff with some character that works very well for some in some purpose that they're not intended to. Such as making a apothecary, I think.
そういうことか。行くよ。お願い。お願い。私の番。やった。行くよ。よろしくね。
行くぞ。我が名はビアトル。
毒斬りの牙は鋭いぞ。
万丈この一手。
And unless I break him quickly, he's gonna use a knock.
雷鳴よ、轟き響け。
全力で行きますさ。どうする？任せてちょうだい。やっ行くわよ。頼むわね。
But neither Yuki or Rest have anything that damages me, I think. Oh, he was weak to the Tomo this time.
この
やるべきことはわかるね。ピークの怒りを受けよ。これほどの相手がいようと。
I got a Serpent's Fang, which I'm guessing is a poison attack. That could go for Sarius, so she can try to deal poison when she has nothing else to do.
大義であった。さすがは選ばれし者だな。名は何と言ったか。覚えておこう。
So is this gonna be a quest line where I'm the backstabber? I'm getting close to the king so I can take the ring from him.
マフレズ様だ。
Which would be actually a nice change of pace.
申し訳ございません。すべては私の責任。
よい、マフレズ。そなたの兵が働いた。して、敵将の首はあるか。
That is nothing sad, so I thought play during the cutscene.
見事だ。
おお、敵将を難なく。さすがは無敵の志士。勝利だ。我が国の勝利だ。マフレズ様！
なぜだ、マフレズ。前線で敵の罠に気づいたとき、貴様は迷わず敵将の首を取りに行った。
陛下の守りは信じる者に任せていた。
Trust his majesty's safekeeping, someone will believe him.
私は自らの務めを果たしたのだ。
I think that Mares would have an interest on having the king die, because he would be next in line.
やはり
If that happened.
貴様は真の将だ。だが、いつか必ず俺が追い
But
越して
one day I will surpass you, yep, backstabber.
マフレズ。
ああ、覚えておこう。
Everybody loves Mares, and this guy is gonna get jealous.
お、見つけたぜ、英雄さん。
Another scene that you'll probably flash back to later.
こんなことめったにないぜ。
No, I think I go all the way back to the kingdom. Nope, it's still in this map. Oh, it's just down the cliff. And Cyrus is still dead, we have to find a ending soon. Don't think there's gonna be any more bosses, so I want to use a healing, I think.
マフレズ、見事な戦だった。そなたは我が国の誇る志士だ。もし万が一の話だが、世にもしものことがあれば、国を率いてくれる。
Show tragedy before your king would be prepared to ruin his stead.
私は兵士です。国事など想像もできません。
Nice PR response, Maris. If you said you would be ready to rule, I think the king would want to kill you, so don't take his position.
手を取り合い、必ずや民を導いてみせます。どうかご安心を、陛下。
そうか。マフレズ、我が息子よ。さあ、父を抱きしめてくれ。
Let us embrace one more father and son.
陛下。な、陛下。なぜ。
マフレズよ。
So I thought he had saved himself when he gave that unknown answer to the question of if he'd be ready to rule in place of the king. Looks like he planned to kill him here in Dao anyway, like no matter what he answered.
民が迷わぬようにな。案ずるな。獅子は死に英雄となろう。
I'm actually surprised about Maris to live for at least a few chapters more. Like if he was going to die to be towards the end of this quest. Yuki, the king is alone, that's your chance. You're not just gonna stand and let him walk away, right? Yuki has his back turned to you. Like, do it. He's not gonna do it. By me, right? And of course you don't fight back or anything.
マフレズ・エドラス、我らが無敵の獅子よ。
I kinda get curious to see how these cutscenes play out in the gacha game because this one has to account for the avatar. I think seems like what just happened. Feel a bit awkward. But they could be just the same, like it could be that the cutscenes are exactly the same, just instead of your avatar, it's whoever is your party leader in the game.
もう終わりだ。この国も。
おさすな。我が弟よ。父上が亡き今、私が王位を継承する。お前はリーベン王国に大使として赴いてもらう。国の繁栄を担う大役だ。受け入れてくれるか。新たな王の仰せのままに。弟よ。兄者の他に王は務まりません。王の即位を祝し、杯を用意しました。エドラスに。エドラスに。兄者は優秀そのもの。文武に長け、人望も厚く、民にも愛されています。反対に私は何においても兄者に劣り、出来損ないと陰で罵られてきました。
If you were royalty back in the day, you would like be super paranoid about every drink that's served to you, right?
貴様、杯に。 兄者に不足し、私が持つものがあります。王としての確たる才、野心です。他の何者でもない。ようこそが。
よこそが玉座にふさわしい。オルステラを進めるこの座にな。ふん。聖火神め、我が支配を拒むか。
Oh, and now Yokias lost his own ring as well. Stupid.
貴様もいずれ知るだろう。
If only you'd attack the king when we had the chance.
誰が主なのかを。
Nice, quite extended that there's gonna be somewhere in the wall that I can interact with. As they throw my entire party in one cell, that's gonna get cramped in here. The largest rock fragment I have.
Oi, 何をやっている？おとなしくしていろ。貴様は明日にも処刑されるだろう。国の宝を殺した罰だ。貴様もその仲間も皆殺しだ。
Nothing of use here.
騒がしいぞ。いい加減観念し
Instead of
ろ。
dying there, will command quality down. I think that's what I have to make happen.
Here. こちらへ。
フレズ。どうして。
エリカ様、重要なお話が。
聞きたくないわ。
失礼いたしました。では、勝手に口にいたします。この者がマフデズ様を殺したとのこと。どうか落ち着いてください、エリカ様。この方がマフデズ様を殺し、何になりましょう。マフデズ様もこの方を信じ、兵に重用されました。 戦など私の手の者が見ていました。マフレス様はお父上に殺されたのです。マフレス様も陛下になら隙を見せましょう。
Actually, how does the attend know about that? Because he wasn't there to see it happen.
なぜ
民の英雄であるマフレズ様はいつしか
I think he's just trusting what my avatar is
邪魔者と
telling
なっ
him.
ていたのでしょう。陛下は玉座を守るために手を選ばぬおつもりです。
Alright, the king was about to kill the attendant that other cutscene, so he has a reason to oppose him now.
終わりかけている父を止めなければ誰かの手で
お逃げください。王への謁見はもはや叶いますまい。幸いあなたを貶めた嘘は知れ渡っていません。将軍が旅人に殺されては国の恥になるからでしょう。どうかご無事で。
But now, not only I didn't get any of the rings back, I lost my ring. And if it reflects on the gameplay, then I can't use my ults for now. Like any of them. I forgot in which screen you can check which ults you have. Not here. Yeah, I have 4 ultimate techniques and they're still showing here, so I might not actually lose them. And I thought the game was like gonna exile me to somewhere far away, but it is still the same town, just a different part of it. And there's a party member to find. And I'll try to do that before ending the stream now. See, I'll try to take Chimera or Hydra. I do imagine it might become a mix of all the previous bosses. Also, I want to dive into the path actions now because the stream is about to end. Just wanna see who's up here. Don't know who did it, but it must be in front of leaves, so I can actually still walk around this city. Take bucket things on the rice. Since I started wearing the Prince of Thieves necklace, doesn't happen once. How does a necklace prevent pickpocketing? An encounter with Therion.
教えて。
what a kind of anticlimactic way to reveal who this quest is about. About Dario, and he might appear in a moment here. He is the character I used as the protagonist in Octopath 1. I was on the field show up here because when you play as in Octopath 1, you start in this region. The Clifflands. One of the necklaces. That means they're under protection. Oh, they actually work? Alright. Supposed to be opaque pockets. That's how their scheme works. Follow me, but I can guarantee I'll make it back alive. Well, that's gonna be something for tomorrow's stream. We'll be recruiting Taro and probably adding him to my party. Like, if he wasn't the character I chose in the previous game, I could use a thief. Because Celsius used to be one in my party, but I was struggling to actually find a proper use to him. He's meant to be a dodge tank, but I already had the Beator as a tank. You head off to bed and wake up in 3 hours. That's tough. Hope you get some more rest after that. But this will be it for today's stream. I'll just find somebody to raid now. It's someone that's earlier in this plot than Naya. That's nice. So I'll be ending now. Thanks a lot for today. Thanks, Night. Thanks, Carol. And I'll see you tomorrow. And have a good night.